All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we are going to be continuing. We are moving on from Rust. I'm not moving on, though. I'm going to be continuing working on the knowledge base tool of Stream. Yesterday, we looked into dynamic dispatch. Um, what was it called? Trait object, dynamic trait objects, or just trait object? I think they're just called trait objects where you are able to create a variable and specify a type, but the type is supposed to be a trait. So basically, you're specifying a trait bound for a variable. However, because the types that would implement that trait can vary in size, that's why you need to specify using the dyn keyword. And then there's certain other complications that arise from that as well. Because, for example, if you are trying to just create one variable, then you would need to specify this as a reference. So the type there would be ampersand dyn, whatever the trait is, and then you could easily assign the value for that variable to be a reference to any type that implements that specific trait. And here we also end up using the concept of temporary lifetime extensions. This is just one scenario in which we would be using it. There's plenty of other scenarios as well. Another very common scenario is if we want multiple types within the same what do you call it? Within the same within the same list, then also we can use dyn. But okay, enough talking about dyn, enough talking about Rust. I'm going to continue with that research off stream. There's still some more of the conversation to be had with Gemini regarding that. I'm going to finish all of that stuff off stream. I didn't want to drag the Rust thing on stream for too long. Also, it just occurred to me that I haven't I haven't made a vlog in probably more than a week, maybe. I should make one tomorrow. Yeah, I should make one tomorrow. Let me see in my list what's actually at this point the list is probably also outdated. Anything that I wanted to talk about that might have been fresh if I had recorded the vlog, a week ago, that's not going to be fresh anymore, and I'm not going to remember a bunch of the details. So I guess what I'm going to be talking about is the progress that I've made with KB Tool. Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna talk about the progress that I've made with KB Tool and a couple of other things as well. Okay, now back to Git. So we're gonna be focusing on Git branching because I want to understand basic. I mean, I understand the concept of branching and then also the fact that you can merge. I need to understand what is happening during the merging process. And another thing I would very much like to understand is how remote tracking branches work and how we would be merging remote tracking branches. Hopefully this section, this somewhere in this entire chapter, it's also going to cover how remote tracking branches work because I believe it does. Hold on, let's take a look. So we are on chapter 3. Get branching. Yeah, it mentions here remote branches, and there's also branching workflows, branch management, all of this stuff. I want to look into all of this, and then whatever rebasing is, I want to look into that as well. Um, there was one more thing, tags. Tags is something that I have just not spent a whole lot of time with. I'm pretty sure it's a very simple yet very useful concept. It's just that, I haven't explored this concept a whole lot, and I kind of need this concept as well because I want to be able to attach tags, specifically like version tags to. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't have to be a version. A tag could be for anything, right? So it doesn't have to be a version number. Yeah, yeah, I could do that. I could like it could just be like a milestone kind of thing. Like, okay, this at so and so point we hit so and so milestone. But then the more structured way to do that would be to have, version numbers, and then you use semantic versioning where you have the simplest form of semantic versioning is um, you have three numbers. You have the major version number, the minor version number, and the number, patch version number. So it would be, this number dot that number. So let's say if it's your very first official release, the very first version of this, you could either start with version 0 or start with version 1. So it would be version 1.0.0. Um, yeah, yeah. What was I talking about? Tags. So yeah, in terms of creating a milestone, this could be the milestone, right? Your version number, where you increment a major version, that would be your milestone. And in the commit, you can also write, milestone, so and so release, so and so thing achieved, or whatever. But okay, continuing on with this. So, previously we did look into, I believe we did cover this section already. We did to a certain extent. I think we got to the end of this as well. I believe I don't remember actually. I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think we got to the end of this. So I'm wondering if we should start reading from the beginning. What can I go to the previous page from here? No, let's go down, hit sorry, hit previous. Okay. I'm guessing we finished this. We did, yeah, because it says testing, and we created a new branch. We moved to that branch. We then made a commit on that branch, and we can see here that the master branch pointing to is pointing to a commit that's like one step behind, but the testing branch is pointing to the latest commit. And head is basically telling us which branch we currently have checked out. So at this point, if we create, because head is currently pointing to master, so we currently have master checked out. If we make a new commit, it's gonna diverge from here, right? And then if we look at the graph, hold on, do I have another thing here? I have Yahtzee. Yeah, I already tested this out. Um, oh shit. Okay, we apparently have multiple branches so far. So wait, how many branches am I sitting on? Let's look at, okay, okay. How far behind is, so we are on master. It's not showing us where the other branch is. The other branch is here. Oh, actually, I could look at the graph to see that. So testing O3 is way far behind. Wait, I'm a bit confused here. Hold on. It says origin master head. Oh, origin. Origin is our remote. Origin is a remote. I shouldn't be looking into that. Though, what do I have set up here? Into how do I look at that? Get remote show. Okay. Get remote verbose. Okay. Okay. So I can just push all of this the to origin, so I don't need to worry about origin all that much. For now, we need to focus on testing O4. We can delete the testing O3 branch. So let's check out master first and then come here and there's our delete option, confirm deletion. Let's look at the graph now. Okay, the branch is gone. Great. So, um, hold on. I actually think I can use this area now. So let's do this. Okay, we'll open up Git UI here, and then I'll look at the stuff from here because I'm looking at two different monitors to be able to see this. And that's why I'm able to take advantage of. Actually, I did not take into account how it looks over here. You know what? It doesn't look bad. You can still see Git UI. So if I change stuff, there's some information that gets hidden, sure, but for the most part, we are good. Okay, now, sorry, zoned out. Okay, so that command did two things. What is that command here? Git checkout. Okay, all right. We look into that. And that, I believe at the end of this, it does also mention git switch. It does. So we are done with this. Yeah, we are basically done with this. Now we begin basic branching and merging. Okay, let's go through a simple example of branching and merging with a workflow that you might use in the real world. You'll follow these steps, do some work on a website, create a branch for a new user story you're working on, do some work in that branch. At this stage, you'll receive a call from another. You'll receive a call that you'll receive a call that another issue is critical and needs a hot fix. You'll do the following. You'll switch to the production branch, create a branch to add the hot fix. After oh God, there's so much going on here. Okay, okay. We'll reproduce this. We will definitely reproduce this. I'm wondering if I should like delete everything here and kind of just like reinitialize the branch, reinitialize the entire repo, actually. Yeah, yeah. Um, where is shit? I forgot that I was learning about Altair. I need to get back to this. There was a tiny bit of a issue that I discovered with. It wasn't really an issue. It was more of well, okay, it was kind of an issue. It was more of a rendering problem, an issue with rendering the images, but I'm pretty sure that issue was arising because I was doing this through Tmux. I'm pretty sure that that was the reason. Exactly what the issue was, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was because I was doing it through Tmux. I don't think if I start using if I start using Westterm's Tmux, no, Westterm's multiplexing workflow, dude, I'm wondering if I should today spend time going and exploring that whole Tmux, not Tmux, that whole Westterm multiplexing situation again. Because I was having a conversation with Gemini, where Gemini was very helpful and explained, how I don't even remember where I dropped that diagram. I just hope that in my GitHub account, um, in Copilot, that conversation is still saved somewhere, and I can go and retrieve the conversation so I can look at the entire explanation again, because there was a lot going on there. I was going into a lot of details surrounding it. At some point, if I'm able to, I would definitely like to export that entire conversation as like an MD file, or maybe even a JSON file, whatever format it gives the explanation in. I wanna get that explanation. To be fair, I don't really know how valid that explanation is going to be. I mean, okay, the user facing side is going to be very much valid, but like internally, implementations could change. And I was definitely looking into implementations, like how things are being implemented. Um, if a workspace is essentially just a label, then like what is it attached to? How are these things being managed and stuff like that? Um, was it that a workspace is just a label, or was it something else? I can't remember what that was. Actually, okay, I'm curious about this now, so I'm gonna check. This was elsewhere. I'm just gonna check this on the other machine to see if I'm able to get. Give me a second here. Okay, let me open up Copilot. Actually, give me a second. This is taking a bit to load. Let me also make sure that we are good on frames. Yeah, we are good on frames. While this is happening, I can, um, I guess I'll just like reset the entire thing. Let's close this and open up Yahtzee here. We have these files. Let's look at this and select everything. And delete it. Was it? Wait, where did I put the? Okay, yeah, no, I don't think I did it here. Okay, so that's done. Now we do git init. Okay, new repo initialized. Do we have any commits? No, we don't have any commits. We are fine here. I don't think I need to have git UI open here. We are going to be doing a bunch of work over here. Oh shit, I had all of these things open. Yeah, let's just close everything. Close this and this and this and this and that. And now we can create whatever file we need. Okay, let's open up Git UI here. Oh, did that finish loading? No, it's still loading. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this and try to reopen it. Okay, this is taking a bunch of time to load. Let me just make sure I'm good on RAM. Kind of good on RAM, not exactly. Okay, there's a couple of things here that I can disable. So I'll just disable those so we have some memory. Okay, right. So this is taking some time to load. I'm just going to let it take its own time and hopefully it loads at some point. In the meantime, let's continue with this. Okay, at this stage, you'll receive a call that another issue is critical. Actually, give me a second. I'm just going to look something up. Give me a second. I'm just going to mute my mic for a bit. Sorry, I got a little busy doing something. Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm back. I was just, man, for some reason, this GitHub thing is just not loading. Like the tab that I have open. I think I need to hold on. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to close this browser and reopen it. Well, this is all on the other machine. So, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna close this browser and we're gonna continue reading this. So the scenario here is we sorry, zoned out. Okay, let's read through this again. Let's go through a simple example of branching and merging with a workflow that you might use in the real world. You'll follow these steps, do some work on a website, create a branch for a new user story you're working on, do some work in that branch. Um, okay, so we have our master branch, and then we have a separate branch for the user story. At this stage, you'll receive a call that another issue is critical and you need a hot fix. Okay, you'll do the following: switch to your production branch, create a new branch. Wait, why do we switch to the production branch and then create a new branch? I just noticed that. Okay, create a branch to add the hotfix. Like, is it possible to? Oh, I think we switch to the production branch, um, so that the branch would be from the commit, not from another branch, right? Because the branch itself is pointing to a certain commit. And so the new branch that we create will also be pointing to that commit. But then when we make a commit on that branch, on that new branch, now that branch is gonna, it's gonna, I guess, advance to the next commit, while the master branch, which is our prod, and the user story branch thing, they would remain on their own respective commits. Um, okay, So the browser on the other machine has closed. I'm just gonna reopen the thing and where did I open it up? Here. Yeah, let's reopen this. Okay, all right. Back to this. Sorry, I'm just a little bit distracted. Okay, create a branch and create a branch to add the hotfix. After it's tested, merge the hotfix branch and push to production. What is the difference between merging the hotfix branch and then pushing to production? Because here it says switch to your production branch. I'm a bit confused there. Okay, switch back to your original user story and continue working. Okay, first let's say you're working on your project and you have a couple of commits already on the master branch. Okay, where does production come in here? Oh, okay. Give me a second. Finally the thing loaded, kind of, I think. While this is doing its thing, I'm gonna open up a new conversation with Gemini and ask this question. Hey, I'm learning Git. Um, if I'm currently, no, if I currently have another branch checked out and I want to create, well, another branch, let's say, other than main checked out, and I want to create another branch, do I need to check out main first? Or can I just... Oh, wait. Hold on. I think the reason we switch to... Hold on. It says here do some work on a website, create a branch for new so and so, do some work in that branch. So that branch has already, it has already advanced progress. That branch already has newer commits than where main is at. That is why we are switching back to production. Okay, that answers the question. But that being said, I'm still gonna ask the question. Okay, or can I just branch from wherever? I guess this would depend. Actually, okay, I'm pretty sure this would depend on the scenario, but I want to hear what Gemini has to say because like it would depend on like whether you want to branch from, because I think branches can also have branches. Like maybe you're working on a big feature, that feature hasn't been merged. It's a massive feature that you're working on, and then that feature also has branches because there's stuff that you want to test out to see how well it works out. Okay, you can absolutely branch from wherever you are right now. You do not need to switch back to main first unless you specifically want a new branch to start from main's exact code. Okay, okay, that answers the question. So, continuing down here, hold on, give me a second. Sorry, I keep going silent. Words. Oh my God, I keep going silent or muting. Give me a second. I need to mute again. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, GitHub has loaded on this thing. Um, I'm gonna open up GitHub Copilot and see if I'm able to look at the previous conversations. I have no idea if the previous convos were saved. I'm really hoping that they were saved. Holy shit. I'm hoping they were saved because I need to continue the conversation in that same convo. There was a good oh god, it says no chats yet. Shit. Um do I have I don't know if I have the um I'm gonna have to go through this list of tabs that I have over here. One of them might have the Western thing, unless I closed it. And if I did, then well, that's unfortunate. Um, but I'm gonna have to go through this entire list to see if I can. Let's try. Hold on. Actually, another thing I should do is check. No, no, I don't think it was on a different. Yeah, no, never mind. Um, damn. Am I gonna have to restart the entire convo and get that whole understanding again? Ask Copilot anything. Okay, okay. Where can I see the previous conversations that I've had? Let's try going to Wes term. Let's go to the Wes term repo. Yeah, I actually can't remember if it was on this account or on a different. It could actually be on a different account, dude. Yeah, yeah. It could be. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try and open up Copilot with this. Um, okay. Yeah, let's open this up and now open this. It still says no chats yet, even though I have had a conversation with um Copilot about this. I guess the convos only stay for a certain amount of time. Oh, I'm gonna have to ask all those questions again. There was like a bunch of man shit. I didn't know that the convos just they disappear like that. Now I'm gonna have to restart the entire research. Though to be fair, a bunch of that understanding that I was trying to get, it was about the inner workings, but I was trying to get an understanding of the inner workings to actually understand how things are working. Because I had questions like, okay, when I open up WesTerm for the first time, a process is created, right? When I try to launch WesTerm again, so okay, first of all, a process is created and then a GUI window is created. When I try to launch WesTerm again from another command, through another command, a new process is not created. A GUI window will be created that's attached to that exact same process. So we now have two GUI windows. You can specify a flag to get it to open up through a new process. So to spawn a new process, you can specify a flag. Sorry, zoned out. You can specify a flag, but that's not the default behavior. Which in a way it's good because like you don't necessarily want multiple of these processes opening up because each one of them does hold a certain amount of weight. Like for example, if I look at the WesTerm process that I have set up right now, oh, well, this is not a good example because it says 770 or 780 MB. It's not that big. Just a bare bones WesTerm process is going to be at the very least 150 MB, I think, or maybe 200 MB or something like that. Or was it 300? I don't remember. It's somewhere in between this. Let's say somewhere between 100 and 300 MB. That's one process, not one window, one process. And in that process or to that process, you can have multiple windows attached. So each time you type in the WesTerm command, it's going to launch a new window, but that window, that GUI window, is attached to one WesTerm process. So it's these various types of things that I was trying to understand. Then there was other stuff like the concept of workspaces and domains. Domains was another important one. Then there was important information about muxing. Dude, I had that. Hold on, back up. Close this. Come here. Where? How do I go back to that? I don't even know where I put it. Yeah, I don't even know where I put it. Um, hold on. Oh God. Yeah, here, empty directory, I guess. It wasn't Gemini, so I don't think I wrote Gemini there, but it could be in one of these scratch things. No, no. Yeah, I guess we'll just start a new conversation and I'll start my research from scratch with it. I'll write down a list of all of the topics that I need to understand, and hopefully I'm able to dive deeper into it again and get, like, that whole diagram thing set up again. Um, yeah, dude. I guess that's what I'll do today. I could real quick come up here and in this after stream, GitHub Copilot Western. Okay, so what am I trying to understand? Process versus window versus GUI window. Muxing, that comes later though. Um, Concept of domains. I want to revisit the concept of workspaces, even though I've more or less understood the concept of workspaces. I don't really need to explore that again. Um, but yeah, where workspaces and domains um, could could kind of overlap, I do want to look into that because I've understood that, okay, locally we can have multiple workspaces, and each workspace can can hold multiple GUI windows. So you could actively switch between workspaces and it's going to create or destroy windows as necessary. I remember this because I was talking to Copilot about this, and each time I had a doubt, I was like, "Okay, are you sure that this is how it works?" Copilot would be analyzing the code for the Western repo, and it would show me that here's the code. In this code, it says that, you know, if so and so is the situation, then do this. If there's no, if there's windows that already exist, then you just switch what's in those windows. If a new window needs to be created, create a new window. If windows need to be destroyed, then destroy windows, and so on. And there was a similar thing for the process thing as well. Like, do we need to create a new process, or are we fine with just putting everything or attaching all the windows to one process? Okay, now I understand the concept of workspaces. Domains, I understand that there are different types of domains. I don't really fully understand how to use them. So I understand that there's a default domain, which is more or less the local domain. um, Other than the local domain or the default domain, we have, actually, I forgot, is it called a default domain, or did the local domain have like a certain, no, no, I think it's just called local, because you can see in the bottom right of my Western window, you should be able to see it on stream as well. In the bottom right of the screen, it says local. That is the domain. If actually, can you see it? Hold on. Yeah, it's really small, but yeah, it is visible. And you would have been able to see the default word in the bottom left, but the bottom left is kind of hidden from the, what do you call it? It's hidden from it's hidden because of this browser window kind of thing. Give me a second. Okay, right. Oh, yeah, so I was saying, I do know about the default domain, the local domain. I think it's called local domain. It's not called default domain. It's called local domain. So you have local domain, you have Unix domain, which is where the whole multiplexing thing comes in. And then you have SSH domain, which is where you can do Unix domain like stuff, but also over SSH. So those are very powerful concepts that I do want to explore later. Voice crack, holy shit. Later on, once I have gotten or re-gotten, that's not really a word. Um, once I've gotten my understanding of the basic inner workings of Western again, things could be a lot simpler. It's just that looking at the documentation, I feel like I'm not satisfied with my understanding of how these various concepts are working, and I'm just going to be working blind if I don't really understand how the concepts work. I want to properly understand how workspaces work. I want to properly understand how each of these domains work. I want to properly understand the whole concept of multiplexing. Holy shit, dude. I cannot believe that the conversation is lost. I'm going to check on another account and see if by some luck it just happens that I had the conversation there. Um, if I did, great. But yeah, I guess I'm going to restart the conversation here. It's going to be the process versus GUI window. Then I want to understand workspaces. Then I want to understand domains. And finally, I want to go into muxing. Because there was also the concept of mux window. I remember that. I remember that. And that whole thing about, oh, a workspace is basically just a label. I was trying to understand that situation as well. Um, and well, yeah, kind of. It is just a label. It's just that that label gets attached to a specific mux window. I don't know if we are still using mux windows when we are using the local domain. That also I have to look into that as well. Yeah, I have to look into that as well. So yeah, I guess I'm going to be restarting my entire research with the help of Copilot again, and I'm hoping I'm able to remember all of those questions again. I guess as I'm doing the research, the questions will just come to me, and then I'll keep asking, and hopefully at some point we end up with a kind of thing where I need to get a diagram, I need to get a visual representation, a graphical representation. But okay, let's step away from this for now. Let's go back to this thing. Oh, actually, back up. I was also having this conversation with Gemini about Git, the golden rule of branching. Whenever head is pointing, wherever head is pointing, when you create a branch, is where your new branch begins. In Git, head is just a, okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, great. Let's get back to this thing. Okay, you've decided that you're going to work on issue number 53 in whatever issue tracking system your company uses. To create a new branch and switch it, to create a branch, to create a new branch and switch to it at the same time, you can run the, chill out, chill out. You can run the git checkout command with the B switch. Sorry, zoned out. To create a new branch, do so and so. Okay, all right. Let's save and come back here. Here, okay. So what we can do is create we are creating a new branch, right? Yeah. So let's create a new branch. We call it ISS 53. I actually don't have any commits here. Let's make an initial commit. Okay, before that, where do I have NeoVim open? Yes. So we're gonna create a um I don't know, we call it prod, I guess. This is a file in prod. Okay, so now we have a commit to make. Okay, this is gonna be our initial commit. Oh God. Okay, we do not need to do that. Yeah, we do not need to do that. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Okay, initial commit. There. So that is done. Give me a second here. Okay, so now that we have this, we can create a new branch and switch to it. So we're going to say, we're going to do branch, create ISS 53, create, and we've switched to it. Great. So this is shorthand for git branch so and so to create the branch and git checkout to check out the branch. So we are currently on that branch. Okay, to confirm this, let's run. I'm jumping around a lot here. I guess I can start doing it here. It's a what was it? Git log graph all one line decorate. I think that's all the flags. One line. Right. So we have ISS 53 and main, and head is pointing to ISS. Right. Okay. You work on your website and do some commits. Uh, Doing so moves the ISS 53 branch forward because you have it checked out. That Wait, because you have it checked out, that is your head is pointing to it. Yeah, okay. Let's make a new thing. Let's call it iss53.txt. It's mainly supposed to be one file anyways, right? So iss53.txt. Uh, this is um this is ISS53 data, I guess. Yeah, whatever. So now that we have that, we can come back here, and here we have this thing. We're gonna say create new footer. Okay, so let's say create. Actually, that's a good idea. Putting it in square brackets to mention which branch it was from. That's not the branch though. Oh, yeah, I could just say created or create ISS53 .txt. That's done. Okay. So that's what our thing looks like now. If we look at the graph, right, so we are one commit ahead on ISS 53 than main. Okay. Oh, before I forget, I should go into some repo central git and let's reinitialize. So let's delete all of this. Sorry, I'm just give me a second here. I'm trying to think of something. There was what was the hold on. Um select there was select all, right? It's control all. No, that's toggle. That's toggle, not select all. Um oh, actually, wait. Select all. Select all is control A. Now I cannot do control A, right? Can I just do this? No, I can't do that either. Control A is the key that I've assigned for WesTerm to um, it's the key that I've assigned in WesTerm. Um, wait, can I do the other thing, which just toggles the selection, so anything that's unselected gets selected? Control R, what would Control R bring up here? In general, Control R is, okay, all right. So that toggles the entire thing. So in case you guys didn't understand, the problem that I'm having is I need to hit Control A to select all of these. That's a shortcut in Yahtzee. The issue is I wanted to create a separate leader key because there's a leader key in uh, various various let's say keyboard centric applications. NeoVim has one as well. That's why when I hit space, which in that case is the leader key, then the which key menu pops up and stuff like that. In Tmux, the leader key is called the prefix key, and by default it's Control B. So that's why I'm able to hit Control B and go to the previous window or the next window or whatever. Right? That's great. Um, in WesTerm, you can also assign a leader key, and that makes it it makes it a little easier for you to have a wider amount of choices for keyboard shortcuts for various actions that you want to take. So instead of just assigning, specific keys like, control R, control this, control that, that do certain actions, you can make it so first the leader key is pressed and then any other key is pressed. So then you don't have to do control R, it can be control. So it can be the leader key, which would be whatever, control A, let's say, and then you can hit whatever other key you want. Um, and in that way, your entire key map, it goes to like a different level. It 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 it's essentially another layer. The the leader key allows you to have like a separate layer of keyboard shortcuts. Now, in WesTerm, I didn't want to mix up because currently I am using tmux within WesTerm, so I didn't want to mix up the control B between tmux and WesTerm. So I set the leader key to be control A in the WesTerm config. And that's where I'm running into an issue here. However, I do have this option because there is a toggle all option. Um, if I, so you can see here, space is to select one item, the current item. It'll toggle it. It'll toggle the state of selection on or off. And then you have Control A, which toggles all of them to on. And then you have Control R, which just toggles them from whatever their current state is to the opposite state. So it just inverts the toggle. Meaning, if nothing is selected and you try to toggle it, then all of them get selected. Okay, anyways, that was a long tangent. Hold on. Do I have a Git folder here? No, I don't. Okay, this was a bear repo anyways. So Git init bear. So we're going to reinitialize this. And now we can go back to some repo. I love Zoxide so much, dude. It's so convenient. Holy shit. This is so incredibly convenient. This is incredibly convenient. Just ignore this thing. This is to do with tmux and um, this is to do with tmux. Um, okay, so back to this. Give me a second. Okay, right. Okay, now you get the call that there's an issue with the website, and you need to fix it immediately. Okay. With Git, you don't have to deploy your fix along with issue 53 change with the issue 53 changes you've made, and you don't have to put a lot of effort into reverting those changes before you can work on applying your fix to what is in production. All you have to do is switch back to your master branch, which in my case now is main. So we are gonna check out main, and um, all you have to do is switch to so and so. Okay. However, before you do that, okay, all right, fine. Before you do that, note that if your working directory or staging area has uncommitted changes that conflict, wait, I just realized the way that we would pronounce con the words, oh my God, the way that we would pronounce the word conflict depends on the situation. Because we say conflict, but we say conflicting. We don't say conflicting. Though that's not the first weird thing that I've noticed in English. But yeah, I just realized like real quick as I was reading this. But yeah, okay, anyways. However, before you do that, note that if your working directory or staging area has uncommitted changes that conflict with the branch you're checking out, Git won't let you switch branches. It's best to have a clean working state when switching branches. Working directory or staging area. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Um, there are ways to get around this, namely stashing and commit amending that we'll cover later on. Stashing, I've actually looked into it a tiny bit, and it was an interesting concept. It was this thing where you could put certain changes that you have done, you can just set them aside, and then you'll be able to make whatever commits you want, and then you can bring back. So the setting it aside is what they call stashing. I explored it once, but I didn't really go too deep into it. This is what I got from it, though. It allows you to basically ignore the changes that you've currently made And because of that, you'll then be able to do this whole branching thing because you then get a clean slate to work with. Okay, that we'll cover later on in stashing and cleaning. For now, let's assume you've committed all your changes so you can switch back to your master branch. Okay, cool. I've switched. At this point, your project working directory is exactly the way it was before you started working on issue number 53. And you can concentrate on your hotfix. Let's do that. Actually, I need to make a branch. I need to make a branch for this. Okay, wait. Um, this is an important point to wait, and you can concentrate on your hotfix. This is an important point to remember when you switch branches. This is an important point to remember when you switch when you switch branches. Git resets your working directory to look like it did the last time you committed on that branch. That makes sense. It basically reverts to the snapshot of the very latest commit on that branch. That makes complete sense. So even the working directory should go back to that state. It adds, removes, and modifies files automatically to make sure your working copy is what the branch looked like on your last commit to it. Okay. Next, you have a hotfix to make. Let's create a hotfix branch on which to work until it's completed. Okay, let's do that. So from here, we're going to create a new branch. We're going to call this hotfix. Uh, let's say hotfix 01. Well, okay, let's just do hotfix. I don't know how many others there's going to be. So we are here. Now we can wait. Is it checked out? It's checked out. Give me a second, or well, give Git UI a second. I might actually need to reopen it because yep, yep. Okay. I was confused about why I wasn't seeing hotfix there, but yeah, now I'm seeing hotfix. Okay, cool. Let's do our hotfix. Actually, let's commit this as a different. Yeah, yeah. What is okay, git commit so and so. Yeah, no, you know what? Let's do it within prod itself. I shouldn't have called this prod. I shouldn't have called this prod. That makes things a little bit confusing. But anyways, let's say hotfix number one, um, applied. Okay, we'll save that. And now we have our change over here. We'll commit this. All right, give this a second, I guess. Or, well, yeah, okay. Let's just uh let's just open up Git UI here. Okay, so this is done. Now we commit, call this hotfix number. Can hashes go into a commit message? I think so. Hotfix number one applied. Okay, commit that. Now here, let's do. Yeah, let's do get log, graph, one line, um, all, and decorate. All right, there is our branch, or we can see the divergence. There's our divergence. Okay, what's next? Okay, you can run your tests, make sure the hotfix is what you want, and finally merge the hotfix branch back into your master branch to deploy to production. You do this with the merge command. Okay, so first we check out main. In our case, main, and then I like that. Okay, so I have Git UI open in two separate places here. One place, well, okay, now you guys can see the two separate places that I have it open. Um, yeah, it keeps it up to date. These are two separate instances of Git UI open, and it's still keeping it up to date. That's the hotfix. That is main. And where are we supposed to be? We are supposed to be in main. Okay, so we are in main. We are now doing what? Merging. So we do git merge hotfix. Okay, git merge hotfix. Okay, it says updating so and so, so and so. Okay, I thought I'm gonna need to do a commit for this, but it seems like I don't need to. Is merging an option over here? What if wait, what if I go into this? Oh, there's a merge option there. Yeah, there's a merge option there. I don't know if you guys can see it on stream. I think you can. I think you probably can. There, yeah, you can. There's a merge option available there. So I could have done that from Git UI as well. Okay, you'll notice the phrase fast forward in that merge. Because the commit C4 pointed to by the branch hotfix you merged in was directly ahead of the commit C2 you're on. Give me a second. Okay, right, where was I? Because the commit C4 pointed to by the branch hotfix you merged in was directly ahead of the commit C2 you're on. Let me look at the diagram. Oh, okay. So C3 is from issue 53. C4 is from hotfix. So what is it saying here? Because the commit C4, which is from hotfix, um, is was directly ahead of the commit C2 you're on. Git simply moves the pointer forward. All right. Okay. To phrase that another way, when you try to merge one commit with a commit that can be reached by following the first commit's history, Git simplifies things by moving the pointer forward because there is no divergent work to merge together. This is called a fast forward. All right, that's interesting. So if the merge is relatively simple to do, then Git will take the easier method. Otherwise, it probably has a more sophisticated method that handles like conflicts and stuff or complex merging. Your change is now in the snapshot. Let's see what the graph looks like. Okay, okay. So things have changed now. If you look at the diagram above, the graph above, and the graph below, main and hotfix both point to the very latest commit, and we can actually we don't see that here. Why do we not? Oh, yeah. Um, there. I just had to like get it to refresh, reload. The thing above, I think that's done already, isn't it? No, it'll be done. It'll be done soon. There's just a tiny bit of lag happening on that end. Okay. Where was I? Git simplifies things. Okay, your change is now in the snapshot of the commit pointed to by the master branch. You can deploy you can deploy the fix. Okay. After your super important fix is deployed, you're ready to switch um, back to the work you were doing before you were interrupted. However, first you'll delete the hotfix branch because you no longer need it. The master branch points to the same place. The master branch points to, oh, yeah, the master branch points at the same place because we merged them. I feel like this part of, I need to understand this part of merging, like exactly what is happening. Because when we talk about merge, my mental image there was that, both of these things merge together and then one of them gets deleted, even though I know that they don't get deleted. Or well, the thing that got merged into main doesn't get deleted by itself. It's still sitting there, and you can either make more changes to it or delete it yourself. Actually, I don't know. Can you make more changes? I think maybe you can make more changes. I think so. I think you can make more changes, which I guess would be a powerful thing to do. Um, in case if like you want to continue doing work. So this way you can like incrementally merge changes from one branch into main. Yeah, that can have its own benefits. Okay, after your super important fix is deployed, you're ready to switch back to the work you were doing on. Oh wait, I'm done reading this. The master branch points to the same place. You can delete it with the D option. So let's come here, and where is it? D, delete, hotfix, gone. So now if I look at the graph, hotfix doesn't show up anymore. It's just main and issue 53. Great. Okay. Now you can switch back to your work in progress branch on issue 53 and continue working on it. Let's do that. Let's switch back to issue 53 and see what's going on in NeoVim. So we can see here that the change that was there in prod is gone. In prod, created I really shouldn't have called this prod. I should have called it some file or something. Um, because prod is like something else. You would then be pushing this elsewhere. I need to look into the concept of prod as well. Because like right now we have our development repo, and I feel like there's within the same repo, at least with other projects that I've seen, you tend to have like the um you have like a development branch, you have the main branch, which I guess is considered prod. Then you have a development branch, and then you have a couple of feature branches and stuff like that. Um, I need to look into what the workflow is surrounding that. To be fair though, my projects are not that complex. Well, at least not the current ones. Later on, I'm going to be doing very complex projects. But at least right now, my projects are not that complex that I need to, do the whole branching and keeping prod separate from dev. But okay. So the branch is deleted. You can now switch back to so and so, and okay, great, cool. Hold up. We now have a new commit here. Okay. It says finish the footer. Okay, let's say added some more data to ISS 53. And now we go into Git UI and commit the change. So this is going to be, yeah, added more data to ISS 53. What is it? Control C, Control D, Control D. Okay. Now if we look at the branch or the graph, now it looks, now ISS 53 is ahead. Yeah, now ISS 53 is ahead. It's worth noting here that the work you did in your hotfix branch is not contained in the files in your ISS 53 branch. If you need to pull it in, you can merge your master branch into your ISS 53 branch by running git merge master. Or you can wait to integrate those changes until you decide to pull the ISS 53 branch back into master later. Okay, now we go into the concept of merging. However, I need to pause this here. I'm going to completely pause this. I'm not going to continue doing this even off stream. I'm going to continue doing this on stream tomorrow. We're going to continue right back from here, basic merging. Uh, I need to end the stream now. Yeah. That's going to be it for today's stream. We made some good progress today in terms of Git branching, and I'm hoping we stay on the same track and eventually finish Git branching. And then I have to explore that tags thing a little bit, and we are gonna we're gonna continue with all of the other stuff that got put on hold. Like holy shit, I've lost track of all of the other stuff that I was doing. Let's look at the list real quick. There was a bunch of things. There was So I have these two apps to make, the knowledge base KB tool, specifically the KB tool, because that's mainly what the knowledge base is going to be about. Then we have the dot files thing. Dot files should be relatively simple because it's more or less, I'm creating a system that's going to read a toml file. In the toml file, I'll specify, either either files or directories, and actually both. I'll be specifying files and directories, and depending on what I've specified, I'm gonna the tool is gonna pull in the data from the path that is being given. That's it. That is all this tool is supposed to do. It's that is all that the tool is meant to do. Further from that point, I'm just gonna commit all of that to the repo and we'll be good to go. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be that tool. I need to get back to this Western thing. I'm gonna get back to this today. Actually, I'm gonna get back to this today. We are currently doing the Git basics thing. We also need to get back to learning Rust basics because, iterators, it's waiting for me. Um, Smart pointers, it's waiting for me. There's a couple more advanced concepts that are waiting for me. Multi-threading is waiting for me. Async is waiting for me. There's a bunch of things that are waiting for me. Then there's the content pipeline. I need to continue working on that as well. I need to finish the silence script. Um, yeah, I need to work on that as well. And then of course we are going to be getting back to ESP32 electronics, both digital and analog. I need to continue reading the Forrest Mims book. Completely forgot about that. Polars and Altair, sorry, Polars and Altair. I think I'll leave that for later. I do want to, explore both of them in a lot more detail, but given all the stuff that I currently have on my list and given how promising it's looking for me to or how do I say this? Given how promising the aspect of me finishing a bunch of these items on my list is looking, um, I'm going to stick with what I'm doing right now. We will eventually get back to this. I'm additionally also going to add, not data. What did I mean to say? Kaggle. Kaggle courses. I want to finish the courses on Kaggle. I want to finish the various courses that were there. I'm going to be learning in my own way though. I'm not going to be using pandas. I'm going to be using polars, but I do want to practice the stuff that's being taught. So I'm going to be doing a mirroring sort of system where I reproduce the problem that the Kaggle course is creating. Like within the exercises, they create problems for you to solve. I'll reproduce those problems within my own environment. So where pandas is used, I'll use polars. Where matplotlib is required or Seaborn is required, I'll use Altair. Where they're expecting me to use Keras or TensorFlow, I'll use PyTorch. I'm going to do a mirroring sort of thing. I'm going to get Gemini's help to reproduce the exercise, and then gotten the once I've gotten the what do you call it? Once I've gotten the answer right, then I can go into the course thing and just get the solutions because they give you all the solutions for all the exercises. So once I know that I've solved the mirrored version of the exercise, then I can just cheat on the actual thing and get the response because to me I'm satisfied because I've accomplished what I was trying to accomplish there. But okay, enough yapping. That's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.